Welcome in. I am the Crypto Bull God, and in today's video, we're going to take a look at one key chart for Bitcoin. I'm going to discuss two scenarios that will be most likely to play out in this chart, and I will give you my opinion in terms of what scenario I feel will ultimately play out in the chart. If you appreciate the content, hit the thumbs up button, drop a comment, and subscribe to the channel. As you know, kind of before we get into the charts, let me give the quick financial disclosure. Look, I'm not providing any financial advice. That's my financial disclosure, all right? Personal financial decisions are up to you. I'm here to educate and to help you out, all right? But the one thing I want to say before we get into these charts is, if you've been here for a while, you know I like to keep it stupid simple. If I'm bringing one chart up to you and I keep hammering home on this chart, there's a reason for it. There are key things that we want to watch moving forward. We need to monitor the chart, and we need to see how price action is developing within that chart, because that chart is a likely key chart that will signal to us a most probabilistic direction for price moving forward. So let's get into things and make sure that I'm first helping to educate you in terms of what this chart represents. This is the Bitcoin dominance chart. A lot of people really struggle with what this chart conceptually means. So take a moment, don't fast forward to see what my conclusion is. Take a moment to understand what it is that I'm speaking to. This is Bitcoin dominance on the weekly. This is a huge drop in Bitcoin dominance. All this is doing is looking at a percentage of market share within the cryptocurrency market. Bitcoin versus all of the altcoins. Altcoins are every other crypto token besides Bitcoin. What percentage do they make up within the market? That's all this is telling us, and it's just plotted on a chart. When we've seen a significant drop noted by the blue arrow, okay, what that has historically meant, okay, this is the period at the beginning of 2017 all the way until the conclusion of our bull run in January of 2018. Look at this huge drop in Bitcoin dominance. Bitcoin was running. It went on a massive run, but altcoins ran much harder. There were massive alt seasons, two of them, in between this price action here. Look at the large orange arrow. I put the orange arrow in there, the color orange, because Bitcoin is known as the orange coin. As Bitcoin dominance was increasing, what was going on here in the market? At the beginning of 2018, the market had topped. We then saw large corrections in the market going into the end of 2019. So what was going on with the USD values, with the altcoins and Bitcoin? Well, altcoins corrected harder than Bitcoin. So Bitcoin was correcting during this move up in dominance, but altcoins were correcting harder. Let's look here. This was our huge run at the end of 2020 going into the summer of 2021. Look at dominance drop off from around, wow, I didn't even see this before I recorded the video. We were at 72% and we dropped all the way down to like 40%. What was going on? Again, it's the same story as before. Bitcoin ran hard, but altcoins ran much harder than Bitcoin. As we saw this huge uptick in dominance, we went from 40% all the way up to nearly 50%. What was going on in the market? Well, the market had topped. Bitcoin was correcting. Look, Bitcoin was correcting, but altcoins were correcting much harder than Bitcoin. And I've stated this on the channel so many different times that when the dominance is falling like this, it means that the altcoins are outpacing Bitcoin one way or the other. They're either correcting less than Bitcoin or running much harder than Bitcoin. When Bitcoin dominance is going up, it either means that Bitcoin is increasing at a higher rate relative to altcoins, or it is correcting at a lesser extent relative to altcoins. And as you can see, these orange and blue arrows are clearly indicating what has historically gone on in the market. Now let's go to the two scenarios, the two most likely scenarios that I see playing out. Stick around to the end, and I will give you my honest, unbiased opinion, and I'll provide supporting evidence why, of what scenario I believe will play out over the coming several months. Several months. That is important to note. Again, if you appreciate the content, hit the thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, and drop a comment. I love to engage with everyone. This is scenario number one. As you can see, we fell massively in price here, okay? We kind of got coiled up here, but then we bottomed here. Now, what I'm trying to show here with these blue and orange arrows, okay? If we take the auto scale off on TradingView, you can see we had a low, a higher low, and we've since double bottomed, a high and a higher high. Scenario number one is we create a double bottom, and this is around 41%. It's really like 41.3. We really need to stay in this 41.3 range right here, 41.27 to be exact. If we stay between 41.27, if we stay between 41.27 and 41.3, we will create a double bottom. And in this scenario, what I see is the dominance increasing. So altcoins and Bitcoin will correct. We're going to see massive, I don't want to say massive, but some large corrections in the market. But altcoins are going to correct a lot more than Bitcoin, which will result in the Bitcoin dominance increasing, hence the orange arrow, like we just looked at. We'll create a high, and then we'll bottom out again. So what will happen here is Bitcoin will run back up in value, but the altcoins will run a lot harder than Bitcoin as the dominance starts to fall again. Now, at this point, we would have to, at this point here, once we create a high, another higher high relative to this high and this high, and a higher low relative to this double bottom and this low, okay, we'll have to reassess the market at that point. But that is scenario one. Let's take a look at scenario two. Scenario two, which I have been tweeting relentlessly on, is first off, we do have a descending triangle here. You see this zigzag pattern, okay? And we also have a pole with the descending triangle. This is known as a bear flag. So why do I have an X here? This happens commonly within patterns. And it's actually very bullish if you're looking for the pattern to play out. We faked out up here. We invalidated the pattern temporarily. But we since re-entered the pattern here. Once you re-enter the pattern like this, and you have a fake out here that temporarily invalidates the pattern, most likely the pattern will play out. In this case, it is a bear pennant. And the technical target, depending how you draw it, because there's a lot of price wicks here, I have drawn out to hit the dominance ultimately around 22.5%. The all-time low in Bitcoin dominance is 35. Look right here, 35.4%. This technical pattern results in a price level somewhere around 22.5%. If this were to play out, there would be a massive run in the market, a massive run. It would correlate to these blue arrows where Bitcoin was running hard, but altcoins were running much harder, and we had massive alt seasons, okay? The other thing, so that's the pattern that's here. The other sub-pattern within the pattern that potentially I see forming here is a head and shoulders, which is bearish for the chart and bullish for crypto. If you've been following what I've been saying, you see a shoulder, a head, and a potential shoulder being built here. Now, the interesting thing about this, if you look at how the technical pattern is drawn out here, which is you take the top of the head to the bottom of the shoulders here, it actually falls in this zone, which is so interesting. I love price confluence. It falls in this zone, which is the prior, let's go back in time. The technical target falls in the prior bottoming zone back in 2018. I find that so interesting. Okay, so interesting that there is a potential sub-pattern within the larger pattern that results in price confluence in this prior all-time low in Bitcoin dominance. So scenario two, what I'm spelling out to you, scenario two is this descending triangle / bear flag ultimately pans out. And you'll see some sort of zigzag pattern like this. Now, I want you to take with a grain of salt the exact timing of this, but more so take along the lines, what I want you to take away from this is the general direction of price and the general timing of things, that this is going to take many months many months to play out going well into 2023, okay? But what you would have here is we're temporarily in this zone. We re-hit this area. Again, anytime a prior area of support continues to get hit, it weakens, all right? Maybe we temporarily bounce up, and then we have a huge fall down into our prior all-time low. During this time, altcoins are running much harder than Bitcoin, okay? Bitcoin's running, but altcoins are running much harder than Bitcoin. We then have a relief, sort of a corrective nature within cryptocurrencies, okay, at this point. They've run pretty hard. We have some corrective nature. It's very common once prior areas, okay, of support, this prior area right here of support, once it's broken here, it's very common to come back up and back test it. As that's going on, if you've been following what I'm saying, is dominance is going up. What's happening is Bitcoin is correcting, but the altcoins are correcting a lot harder than Bitcoin. Once we retest this and invalidate it, the bear flag, descending triangle, the bear flag, the technical pattern pans out. And we start to have a massive rundown in Bitcoin dominance. And what does that mean? That means for us, not only a drop down in Bitcoin dominance, if you've understood what I've been saying by this blue arrow, not only is a drop down in Bitcoin dominance spelling a historical fact that we will see a run in Bitcoin and a much harder run in altcoins, but the fact that we would be creating new all-time lows in Bitcoin dominance would mean we would be having a mega alt season. Altcoins would be going on a tear and creating new all-time highs, most of them, not all of them, but the really good ones will be creating new all-time highs. Everything will be running well above their prior all-time highs. Bitcoin will also be creating new all-time highs above its all-time high. And this area down here, wherever we bottom, is where the market truly bottoms out, and then we have our massive bear market. Not right now, ladies and gentlemen. So as you can tell based on how I am setting this up, which camp do you think I fall in, okay? It's not because I'm biased in any way. I'm looking at this technical pattern and saying there is a bear pennant here. We temporarily invalidated it and re-enter the pattern. More than likely, historical data tells us when this happens, most likely this pattern is going to play out. It could last all the way in to the late 2023. It could go to July 2023, August, June, whatever. But the point is, this is what I view as the most likely scenario, scenario 2. So if you appreciated the content and you really want to help me out as a content creator to spread awareness and carry the education forward, share it with others, subscribe to the channel, drop a comment, hit the thumbs up button, and until next time, as I just said, being a little redundant, spread awareness and carry the education forward. We got this.
So what you gonna do, $5 on CryptoBullGod and his crypto maniacs and the entire cryptocurrency market run wild on you?